Alright then, it's time for a Jungle Jarvan game. Let's get the show on the road. Which one? And by this title, you can tell it's going to be quite a peculiar game. It's not going to be exactly too toxic, just mostly just dumb. So, anyways, I want to point out something else first. I'm fighting a Jungle Xylus, and his clear isn't obviously the best, at least initially, and ever since it got nerfed. So I want to try to invade him very quickly. But now, once I get the blue buff and I'm ready to invade, look at how Darius moves in the minimap. He's going to go down the river, and that makes me think twice about the invasion. But as soon as he reappears, I move back, because then it just means he was just putting a ward. But unfortunately, that cost me quite a bit of time, and I could have been there to take the red or kill the Xylus. However, though, silver lining, the Darius, he knew I was there, but he was so greedy about that CS that I ended up putting him in a position for I to be able to gank him, and then Tryndamere gets the kill, and that's good, because I want Tryndamere to succeed, since I'm worried about how he'll deal with Darius. So the whole dual Q thing, so I remember in the last video I talked about how I may point out some of the things people say and do and act stupid, but never harass them. It's more for the comedy's sake, or they're just understanding what this game involves. In this case, it had a dual Q, and hilariously enough, a platinum and a silver dual Q, and one of them had a very cutesy name. I don't want to make assumptions, but it just sort of felt kind of dumb. But anyways, it was a support in the mid laner, and you'll be able to tell just by some of the things that happen. This gank could have possibly worked if the Fizz kept going, but not exactly. I wouldn't force him too much. But anyways, this game, my main goal is to build Murderous Jarvan, and just to pretty much just try to destroy two people on the enemy team during each engage, kill somebody, and hopefully really maim somebody else. And yeah, because both the enemy team doesn't have that great of initiation, so my whole goal is just to pierce through them and disable them, and aka kill them real quickly. Pretty much that. My team's only initiation is me, and our only real reliable crowd control is also kind of me. So yeah, team comps. So yeah, the reason I point out this is kind of dumb is because of this, actually. So in more than one instance, I'm forced to go to mid lane to do something, and I take a bit of CS, okay? And apparently, junglers are not supposed to do that. Also, this gank is kind of poor. It was more forced because I thought that I would be able to do enough damage to kill the Darius, and unfortunately, it just cost me my ultimate, and Tryndamere died anyways. But yeah, my mid laner is gonna get upset, or has been getting upset, over the fact that I took some CS, and this moment right here is actually very dumb. I threw my flag to just, give an idea of the dragon is being killed, and yeah, I wasn't gonna follow it up because I don't have the smite to secure it. But it got ragged on. I mean, I was told, Jarvan, you should have gone in. We would have actually really just died. So it was pointless. It was more if I could steal it because it's a red dragon. Otherwise, there's no point. So yeah, this is where the ragging continues, begins. Here I end up trying to flash to save the Zed, but I did that all in one motion, and ended up kind of wasting it because the Zed kind of, saw that I was going to do something. And unfortunately, we get a kill from Tryndamere, but unfortunately it's still a 2-for-1, and it's not that great. So yeah. I still think my team composition is going to shine through once mid-game rolls on, so I still have confidence. However, though, despite that really bad follow-up there against the Zed, I got a pretty damn good gank here. My teammates at bottom lane responded well enough that this went really smoothly and really well. I got 2 kills off of that, though I should probably try to give it to my Kai'Sa, but whatever, I'm going murderous here. But yeah. Brian, go get my blue. You can see my Fizz teammate is getting chunked and he got killed. That keeps happening, right? So I go mid lane and take some CS, and since he's still dead, I end up just pushing this out just to try to get this cannon minion killed. Zed shows up, but this is where it begins. Jarvan, you should not take mid lane CS, but maybe at that point he might have been right. But here's the thing, once the team start grouping up, nobody has any claim to any CS at that point, except maybe the ranged carry, right? Everyone else just kind of gets the CS they can safely get while being, in a Mexican standoff. At least that's how I interpret it. But yeah, I just want to point that out because that's the main contention. And both of them ganged up on me. And I'm like, the Nami has no idea what's going on in mid lane, so there's no reason for, her to be saying anything. But that gave me the suspicion. Are the fish people working together? Possibly. But anyways, like right there, I took one CS and then the other one was kind of die anyways. And they were beginning to rag on me for that one. So whatever. Anyways, here's an actual big mechanic thing here. So yes, I'm an initiator, but the enemy team is in a weird state in which they can't really initiate, but they have a lot of means to murder people. So, waiting for them to sort of blunder into us is a good means of, setting up a fight, because then I can counter initiate. However, you saw the Fizz just sort of stand there, and throughout that whole time, he was just bashing at me because I was too much of a coward to do anything. That I'm just playing, I'm just watching a stream instead of participating in team fights. But as you can see there, this little counter initiation would have been good if there was a proper follow-up instead of, Danami typing at me. So, yeah. This is why, the dual Q is kind of a toxic situation, kind of, where they're mostly just focusing on, blaming me for their situation rather than themselves. The Fizz is blaming me for the fact that he's losing to the Zed at this point. That Zed has one level over him because of my interference. Perhaps, maybe, but, that doesn't excuse somebody's gameplay decisions. But yeah, the whole thing about initiating is a thing that a lot of people need to learn. Starting fights just because you're an initiator doesn't mean anything. Like, you've seen Malphites who just ult the second they see, like, people group up. You have to know when it's a good time to initiate. You need to know if it's good to initiate, period, and maybe if it's better to counter-initiate. Because sometimes waiting for them to just, do something stupid and you to follow it up and hit them in the right place at the right time is a lot better. Like right here, they're just putting themselves really far off from each other, and the Fizz gets a good ultimate off, and I can follow it up with a good EQ through the Darius, to the Xylus, and then trapping the Jinx, and then just sort of making them scatter, allowing my teammates just to sort of grind them down in a long distance. So, we lose 2 people, but they lost they lost most of their people. 4 people, actually. And then the results, losing Dragon 2. Essentially put, again, their team doesn't really have any proper initiation unless the Xylus steals like a Nami ultimate or something. And the rest of us can, as a result of that, can just sort of position themselves or at least brace ourselves. That's the right word for it. Brace ourselves and then hit them harder on the counterattack. And especially since we have Jarvan, who's really good at that. Anyways, Xylus should have realized that we knew he was there, and instead he just allowed himself to explode. We go after the Zed, who then just, blinks back towards my team, which is even more dangerous than me. And then the enemy Jinx just sort of kind of blunders into the Tryndamere and then gets absolutely eviscerated. And then the Yumi's just kind of just here and dies too. I feel bad for her. So yeah, she did. And then we go for the Baron. And just so this dual Q stops ragging on me, I make sure to ping my Smite as much as possible, just to make sure they understand that if we lose Baron, I don't have the means to secure it, so it's not my fault. Because I knew if I'd lost it, they would rag on me more. From the saying things like, oh, he's just playing on MMO, he thinks himself the AD carry. Just because Jarvan can be tanky doesn't mean I'm exactly building him tank. Like in this case here, I get on top of the enemy AD carry, aka look at that farm AD on that AD carry, and I can kill her. If your jungler can destroy their potentially strongest character, or at least strongest means of winning most teamfights later on, that's pretty good. In fact, here I catch her again, and I have this time my Titanic Hydra, so I do a lot of damage, and we easily kill her again. That's pretty good. Also, I want to point out, I have a stopwatch. It's to make one of my very rarely seen plays, because I need to have a good follow for this thing. Anyways, we catch the Xylus, and he's got the Yumi with him, so easily both get destroyed. But I'm going to wait for somebody to blunder into me, and I'll get a good EQ, and you're going to get to see. It's the golden Jarvan maneuver. It's very basic with most initiations, right? EQ, ultimate immediately become golden so they can't just destroy me. And I pop out and just stab whoever's there. Darius ended up trapping himself in my walls too. So yeah, they all immediately die. I didn't get the best reaction because I thought they would try to burn all their stuff immediately, but whatever. So yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. They rage at me at the end of this game, and they rage at me in the team at the end game screen. So whatever, yeah, they shouldn't be so bitter. And hopefully one of them understands that, carrying somebody doesn't exactly get you anything. And of course, remember, don't harass anybody. This is mostly just to, add some sprinkles of flavor in the game, because you now know how I felt while playing this, full of angst, rage, and basically wanting to show these two up. So yeah, just sort of understand it with that in mind. Anyways, if you enjoyed this, then give the video a like and comment below. If you don't like the fact that, I call people out kind of and, talk about that situation, let me know that too. Mostly because I'm still interested in knowing what the balance is as the people who like that I do that and the people who don't. Anyways, thank you for watching.